Hey guys, Rebel Engine 95, recording live from the local county prison cell. I'm actually in my original local county prison cell, so that's a little throwback, I guess, if anyone was paying attention. And then once again, here is a death battle that was presented by the Grand Bull. I did, funny enough, this was another Sonic character, but I did the Majora versus Infinite fight, which was one of his trailers. Well, technically his was Skull Kid and Infinite, but, that's not split hairs. But yeah, I mean, he does these cool little 30-second death battles, and if you want to go see his, I would recommend them. Death battle trailers, and I would go recommend seeing them. I mean, he's a small, we do the same thing, he's small time, I'm small time, but, might as well. So yeah, anyway, so this next fight does come from him. I should just do, stolen ideas month or something. Well, I mean, if I'm gonna do a Hanna-Barbera month, I might as well do a Stolen Ideas month. So this is, this is gonna be Zygarde from Pokemon versus, Chaos from Sonic the Hedgehog. This is actually interesting because, though, Chaos had, a heel turn, he was originally the protector of the Chaos Emeralds, and, he also, kind of afterwards, he became, a good guy and only shows up in, times of crisis, quote-unquote. And Zygarde is the protector of the ecosystem, and only shows up when the ecosystem is in danger. So I feel like, even though these characters are very similar, I mean, not only the fact that they, collect, remnants of themselves in order to gain additional forms and everything, but they also, I feel like if it was evil Chaos, they would end up fighting. These two creatures would fight, and even though they both, begin and end as, protector roles. So, I'm gonna go into Zygarde first, because I actually know him a little bit better. So Zygarde, by the way, just to get this out of the way, I would think that I'm gonna be going with primarily Zygarde, from, yes, the games, but also featured in X, Y, and Z, just because that was the only time I think we got, a proper story of what he is, or it is, I should say, and otherwise it's just it's just a legendary that you capture, you know what I mean? It's just a boss with no reason. So, Zygarde is, like I said, the protector of the ecosystem, because there is constant fighting between Xerneas and Yveltal, Xerneas being the bringer of life, and Yveltal being the taker of life. One of them winning, is a threat to the ecosystem. So, Zygarde is kind of like the mediator, where it's more powerful than the two of them, and if they don't start cutting their shit, he just kind of says, hey, what the fuck's going on, and then just backhands them back into not fighting. So, Zygarde is actually split into multiple cells and cores that are spread all across, basically the world, whatever ecosystem he's inhabiting. Sometimes it's Kalos, sometimes it's Alola, sometimes it's just wherever the hell they say it is. And each individual cell is capable of calling upon the power of its other cells in order to, in order to become more powerful. So it's technically able to appear anywhere. Usually it has a 10% form, which is just like a dog, and it's capable of running 60 miles an hour, and it can still use big shockwaves and everything. I think that's supposed to be Land's Wrath, is what it's using. Because, yeah, the other thing is, I realize, and let me clarify this, I realize that there's usually two different ways that they do Pokemon. Either A, they use the movie and the games, or B, they use the movie, and B, they just use the games strictly. Like it's a wild thing. The thing is, Zygarde's a legendary, so there's only one of it, even though it appears in 2 different games. And though I do like the idea of, I'm not going to use TMs or anything, Zygarde is the only legendary to my knowledge with 4 signature moves. 3 of those it does not learn from leveling up. And none of them are like Z moves or anything or require an item. So, because this is a Zygarde bio, and because this would be a death battle that uses Zygarde, it would be a little stupid not to include all of his signature moves, you know? That'd be a little silly not to do that. So, I would assume that he would know, and I'm going to go ahead and just list them off since I'm already saying this. He does Land's Wrath, Core Destroyer, 1,000 Arrows, and 1,000 Waves. This is in terms of, like, Death Battle, where you have to, like, analyze what the moves actually are, and you can't bring Pokemon stats into it, Core Destroyer is just a giant laser. Land's Wrath is like a spirit bomb for the Earth. It's just absorbing the energy from the Earth and, you know, releasing it in like a shockwave. 1,000 Arrows is a bunch of pieces of land that it shoots out, and can hit airborne opponents. And then 1,000 Waves is essentially moving the Earth to its will, moving the ground beneath it to its will to, like, trap you. All of which are, you know, very powerful moves in their own right. And then it also has, you know, its standard level up moves like Dragon Pulse, Earth's Power, Earthquake, things like that. And it is a ground dragon type, and I'm going to say this, it is neutrally affected by water, so the fact that Chaos is made of water not going to matter. That would be an instant win, because Chaos is pretty much made of water. Not really water, but it's pretty much water. But yeah, so that Zygarde's 10% form is just a really fast-running dog that can use a percentage of its power. Then there's its standard form, which is like a giant snake, which can, again, you know, still has access to a, you know, large amount of power. About 50%, I believe they said. And then, when shit gets real, it uses its 100% form, where this is where it's capable of, like, it's able to compete with Xerneas and Yveltal in its 50% form. And it was able to take out, you know, a bunch of Team Flare grunts, and just completely outrun them and save, I think it saved Team Rocket, I believe, in its 10% form. In its 100% form, it is capable of overpowering Xerneas and Yveltal, and even just, like, completely blowing away Lysander and his whole fucking creation and shit that he was using. So this thing is just, like, a beast when it's, you know, 100%. Now, it also has the ability, Aura Break, which lets it, and this is why it's capable of defeating Yveltal and Xerneas, is that it cancels out Aura abilities, Geomancy and Dark Aura, which are Xerneas' and Yveltal's abilities, that increase Fairy and Dark-type moves respectively, so being able to cancel that out gives it an edge, or takes away their edge. And you're going to bring up that Power Construct is an ability, is a hidden ability. That's just that's like Ashtra Ninja being an ability in the game. Like, that's not what I would consider an ability in terms of the anime. I would consider that just a characteristic of the Pokemon itself. That's not, like, an ability. So, like, saying, oh, well, if you're going to have it change forms, then it can't use Aura Break. A, we're not, you know, Chaos doesn't use Aura, so that's not relevant. B, like, at that point, like, you're just kind of, I think you might just be being petty. So that's Zygarde, right? Very powerful opponent. Let's go on to Chaos. Now, Chaos is referred to as the God of Destruction. It is a... I gotta stop doing these... I hate to say this. This is gonna sound bad out of context. I gotta stop doing these genderless characters, because I keep trying to call them he or she. It's referred to as the God of Destruction, and it was also the original, like I said, protector of the Chaos Emeralds, protector of the Master Emeralds, protector of the Chao tribe, and was also the and oh yeah, and later became once again all of those things except the protector of the chaos and master emerald part. Um, like I said before, it's primarily made of a water-like substance. It's liquid chaos energy. So it's the same type of energy that the Chaos Emeralds emit, but in liquid form, right? Which gives it limited shape-shifting abilities, like, you know, being able to change its arms and everything, and being able to reconstitute itself, and it's got a lot of resistance because of that, because it's got like bullet immunity, or ballistic immunity. It's pretty much immune. I mean, it seems to be vulnerable to spin dashing. So I don't know what that's about, but other than that, yeah. Then you get each time it absorbs a Chaos Emerald, its form develops. So Chaos 1 through 6, where it just either grows bigger, gets like a bone structure, gets whatever, gets different abilities like to create ripples and stuff like that. And then at the top of this, not many of them are that different, so I'm not going to focus on each one individually. And then at the top of this is Perfect Chaos after after not only absorbing all the Chaos Emeralds, but just draining them of all their negative power. And he becomes a fucking giant dragon. Just big fucking water dragon. Capable of flooding an entire city. It can create water tornadoes. It can shoot energy from its mouth. It can shoot like blasts that rain down like meteors. And it actually took Supersonic to beat it. So it had a weak point at the top of its head, but whatever. It also It took down the egg carrier. This thing is just, and it was claimed to have had the power to destroy the world. So that's just a claim, but it was able to flood a city and beat Eggman, who had built a, giant airship specifically with the intent of destroying it in case, it's decided to disobey him. So, in one shot, also, that's the other thing. And it was able to take several hits from a creature that is able to, fly thousands of miles per hour and distort space and time, though it didn't have that ability yet. So yeah, who do I think is going to win here? So, I mentioned that Chaos being made of water wouldn't affect Zygarde that much, because it's neutrally affected by water. Very small safety net there, because I think this is pretty much, other than that, one-sided. Forgetting just the size isn't going to be the factor here, but Chaos is just, in terms of power, I think is just on a completely different, level here. Zygarde's got... And also, Zygarde... Chaos is using all water and everything, true, but Zygarde's moveset's also pretty limited. It's got only access to dragon and ground moves, and they all kind of do similar things that I don't think would really work on Chaos. The dragon moves, yeah, so, Core Destroyer, and, if I'm fucking getting that, I think it's Core Destroyer. I don't know if that's the actual name of the move. I'm sorry. Core Disruptor, or Core something, probably. It's got Core in the name. And, Dragon Pulse and things like that, yeah, that would have an effect. And Land's Wrath probably as well, even though it's a ground-type move, it doesn't really use the ground, it's an energy wave. That would probably have some sort of effect, but, Thousand Arrows and Earthquake and, Thousand Waves, being made of water means that Chaos probably can just... And again, like I said, it's got ballistic immunity, where, projectiles just go through it. So, that Thousand Arrows isn't going to work. And Thousand Waves, again, the ground comes and captures you. You're made of water. You just step out of it. And Earthquake, what's that going to do to somebody who can just cause floods? most of Zygarde's, like, most powerful moves, I don't think are going to have a huge effect. And Chaos being just, I think, so much more... I just think Chaos is more powerful than Zygarde, to be honest. I'd hate to, generalize it that much. I just think it has such a much better power output than Zygarde does, and the fact that Zygarde doesn't really have that many ways to hurt it. So, I mean, Chaos isn't... I mean, it... To specific types of energy, to specific types of, to attacks, it's not very tanky, but, all in all, it's, like I said, it's made of liquid, so, I mean, it's kind of hard to kill. I feel like, this is pretty much, like, both of these things at full power would be cool to watch, but then, like, when you break it down, I just don't think Zygarde has enough ways to kill Chaos that, comparatively, that, it has a real chance at winning here. So, I'm going to give this to Chaos. Yeah, I gotta say that. So, again, thanks to the Grand Bull for, making content that I can just steal as long as I, give him a shout out. And, anyway, I'm going to see you guys next time. Rebel Engine 95. Or, wait. Rebel Engine 95, see ya. Yeah, I forget my own catchphrase. Whatever. Rebel Engine 95, see ya.